Hello everyone, it's Katy. This is my last coursework evaluation video, and in this video I'm going to look at something quite different from what we have looked at so far. So this app I'm going to review is called Triplingual. As the name suggests, it's an application for people who are on the trip to a foreign language country. And a big part of this application is the surviving phrases. Before doing the presentation, I debated about whether Triplingual counts as a language learning app. But then again, I think my argument is that language learning happens in a lot of contexts, with a lot of different languages. So I guess another goal of doing this presentation is to invite us to think about language learnings in other contexts. Alright, so here's some basic information of this application. It's a phrase-based tutorial with quizzes and flashcards, but I'm not sure if the word tutorial is quite accurate because there's not enough explanations or instructions. It's just it's more like translation. And there are a lot of languages. There are over 30 of them. I didn't count the exact numbers, but the list is quite long. And I believe it covers the major travel destinations of the globe. And I think it targets absolute beginners, people who have zero knowledge of the target language. Some activities included are audios, translation, flashcards, and quizzes. And I downloaded this application on my iPhone, so it works well in the iOS system. And the price, so for the tourist package, it's $20 per month. And if you want to use it for a longer period of time, you can pay for $40 for 3 months. And if you're a frequent traveler, you might want to sign up for the Globetrotter package, which is $100 per year. But I think it's a little bit, I think it's a little bit more expensive than I have expected because I've used similar apps before. It's mostly free. Okay, here are some of the basic features. The first one is the voice and image translator, which is a technology that has become more and more mature. So basically what you have to do if you want to translate a message is to speak into the phone or take a picture if it's a written message, and you can get instant translation to the target language. One thing that I want to highlight is that the users can switch languages pretty easily, although you have to choose your travel destination at the beginning of using the app. You can in the translation page, you can switch languages very easily. And the second one is a phrase book, which is also the main part of this application. It's a list of survival phrases categorized by themes. For example, you have business related themes, or you have phrases that are frequently used in a restaurant. Okay, so and then you have the flashcard and quizzes feature, pretty standard. So those both of those features help you to test your knowledge on the phrases, on the use of the phrases. And what I like most about this app is the culture notes feature. So it's a list of short texts about the cultural points of the destination. it covers a lot of ground. For example, it covers hotels, accommodations, history, politics, government, economic, geography, and climate. And under each like big categories, you have like smaller sections. For example, under geography and climate, you have regions, biodiversity, climate, and for each one you will have a short text introducing those topics. However, those texts are just written text without images or audios moving or videos. So from a multimodal writing person's perspective, I think the text itself is not effective enough to communicate the message in this particular context. Okay. So lastly, it's the audio lessons. Although it's called lessons, I don't think they're quite like lessons. So basically, it's just a for example, 3-minute video. 3-minute audio, in which the person reads out the phrases. So there's nothing else. Alright, so there are some other features that are not directly related to language learning, but can help with traveling. For example, tip calculator, conversions, etc. Alright, so here are some examples of how the interface looks like. This is the landing page. You can change your travel destination here. And most of the learning tools that I have introduced can be found in the tools section here. So those are the tools related to language learning. And here is an example of the phrases. Since I didn't pay for this application, I have very limited access to a very limited number of phrases. And you can also choose to do the quiz mode, so for that one, you are expected to choose the Portuguese equivalent of the English phrase, and you get a score for every correct answers. So pretty standard. And lastly, the audio lessons. Like I said, there's no conversation, explanation. It's just the male's voice reading out the phrases. If you're familiar with this one, you can skip it. But there's no playback or slow it down, speed it up, or things like that. Okay, so evaluation. Okay, so when I'm talking about learner and teacher here, I want you to imagine a very different type of classroom. A classroom, like a short-term course that prepares people to safely get around in a foreign-speaking country without assistance of an interpreter. I know this type of courses exist because I used to work in the English institution that prepares students to take the TOEFL and IELTS, but they also provide short-term courses for parents whose children are going to go to college for example, in the US. So the purpose of the course is to equip the parents with enough phrases so that they can safely get around in the US. Alright, so Learner Fit. I think this application provides quick access to the target language and culture. And the live translation is probably the most useful feature, especially in the emergent situations. And having said that, I'm not so sure about the accuracy rate of the live translation because I don't have access to it, because I didn't pay for it. And however, there are some fundamental limitations of this application from a learner's perspective. For example, the acquisition of the phrases is not situated in a context or a conversation, while the learners can memorize a list, like a finite list of phrases. It's really hard to expect what the other person who's most likely to be native speaking. It's really hard to anticipate what the other person will say, right? For example, you can ask, where's the toilet? Where's the cinema? Where's the train station? But you can't really know how the direction will be provided, right? Because in the real life situations, your native speaking partners don't follow like formulaic expressions. So I think that's like the fundamental flaw of similar applications. They just give you a list of phrases for you to memorize, but I mean, when it comes to real life conversations, it doesn't really work that well. So that really gets into my second point here, the limited phrases and variations. Very limited phrases and variations are provided, and if your interlocutor don't follow the formulaic expressions, it's really hard for you to understand, and in that case it doesn't really help if you can speak a few sentences. And also the interface is not interactive or engaging enough. So those are from a learner's perspective. And for teachers, again, when I'm talking about teacher, I'm not talking about college language classroom. So here, I think teachers can supplement the use of triplingual with conversation exercises. For example, students can memorize the phrases from triplingual before coming to class, and they can practice using it during class time. And I believe teachers should also provide more grammatical explanations, or at least the very rudimentary grammatical explanations, so that students are not just like memorizing, they're understanding the logic behind those expressions. And also explain the use of phrases to foster intercultural communication competence. For example, in French, they have tu and vous, both as second person pronoun. In English, it would be you, but they are used to address different people. And so if students are just required to memorize a certain phrase that contains tu, it could be probably defensive in certain situations. So I think the teachers should pay more attention to the nuanced differences of the phrases, and especially how they are used in the particular situation. Okay, so well, that's at the end of my presentation. Basically, I just want us to think about language learning in different contexts, and also there are applications for those indigenous languages, very like minor languages.